A very warm welcome to the 2021 Torpedo Swimrun Cape Route Brief. Really excited for this Sunday, and we're going to do a detailed walkthrough of what you can expect, and we're going to go through the important information in this route brief. We're going to cover 4 topics. We're going to go through the weather, number 2, a handy checklist that is attached to this email. Number 3, we're going to do a detailed Google Earth route fly-through. And number 4, we're going to confirm in the timing pods that you have to check yourself in and out of the route as you go. So let's fly straight into the weather, and this is really good. It's not often you get a surf forecast showing you almost a full week of blue and green ocean. So on Sunday it's going to be probably just below 2 meters swell, wave energy of sitting just over 1,000. So anywhere below 2 to 3,000 we have the green light to do our A route swims, our preferred swims at all 6 swims. So that's looking really good. This forecast is backed up by Magic Seaweed. There'll definitely be a bit of a wave coming into Ladudno, but it's quite southerly, so it should be protected at Sandy Bay. And Wind Guru also backing it up. It's sort of about showing us again. There's 2 meter swell, so it's looking good. It's not going to be dead flat. It'll be a bit of a challenge, but it's looking good for A-line swims. And the wind is changed. There was a bit of a southeaster earlier in this week that was forecast for Sunday. It's now changed to a very light breeze. So this is below 10 knots on Sunday. Looking across to windy, that also sort of backs it up with 6, and then going a bit further in the day, yeah, still so 6, 7, 8, 9 knots. That is great. It's not often you see the Cape Peninsula looking so mellow for our torpedo. So this is all good news. The actual temperature on the day on Sunday, it's going to be in the mid-20s, partly cloudy. It is a good day for swimrun. So going next into our handy checklist attached to this email, we have put all the information, all the important information that you need to know into this handy checklist. Please go through it all. It includes your compulsory equipment that you need to bring and that we will supply. It talks about the times, that is the times you check in at the shuttle, time the shuttle takes you from Clifton to Sandy Bay, and your start time at Sandy Bay. It talks about the golden rules of swimrun. Please read and familiarize yourself with those golden rules of swimrun. The one that I'm just going to mention now is always enter the water feet first. So never dive into any swim. It talks about athlete proficiency, cutoff times, which are very lenient. And the last thing is the Ladudno penalty box. I'll get into that when we talk through the detailed route flyover. Ladudno is the only swim where there's an option to run around, but it does carry a time penalty. So going straight now into the route fly-through, before I go into that, let me just give you an overview of the route. For those of you that aren't from Cape Town, this is the Atlantic seaboard, and this is Clifton on this side, Sandy Bay on the right-hand side. So we are racing from Sandy Bay to Clifton, but in the morning you meet at Clifton and you park your car at Clifton, and we have buses that will take you from Clifton to the start in Sandy Bay. Before you get on those buses, you are already in your swimrun kit to go, like you're going to start the race. You don't take any bags, you don't take any extra stuff with you on the bus. You're ready to go. There are toilets at Clifton 4. There are also emergency toilets where the bus drops you off at the bottom of Brunia Way. The bus drops you off at the car park at the bottom of Brunia Way, and there is then quite a short, steep, the car park at the bottom there is a short, steep climb up to the start line at Brunia Way. The buses, unfortunately, can't get you. It's too steep, and there is not enough space for them to turn. You hit your first Moby timing pod at the start. When you get off the bus, all of you will tap yourself in. This is our final check. You've already been marked off on a list at Clifton, but this is our final check that you have entered and registered yourself into the route. This is important for our medical team. So the first run, great downhill run from the start line into Sandy Bay. This is the most magical part of the course. And into the first swim. It's a short swim into Sandy Bay around this big granite rock that sticks out to sea. From the start of the swim, you don't have line of sight to the end of the swim. All of our swim starts and swim finishes are marked with feather banners, and the route that you run is marked with both bunting tape and small little flags and arrow boards. So you have to follow a set line through both swims and runs, and the course is marked. So for those of you doing it for the first time, your aim when you head out to sea here is just to go around this granite rock. There are life-saving boats and lifesavers on SUPs that will show you the way. Once you round this granite rock, you will then have sight of the outsurance flag at the finish line. What often happens here, it's sunrise, the sun is coming over these mountains and the sun is in your eyes, so it doesn't harm you to take off your goggles and just have a good look and to get your swim line. So that's just one of the points when you're coming in. A point when you're swimming out at Sandy Bay, there is a little rock somewhere over there. So just as you start swimming on your right hand side, do not swim over that rock. The surge pushes over it, the wave breaks on it. Please, for all 6 swims, it's not a controlled environment. This is not swimming in a swimming pool, it's swimming in the open ocean. You have to be continuously aware of where you are and look out for rocks, look out for waves. You have to stay vigilant and stay alert of where you are. So that is the first Sandy Bay swim done. Let me just quickly go back actually just to the start of the swim. For those of you taking on your first race, this is where most people pull out. They run down the sand dune, they get in the Sandy Bay water, they go 3 meters into the water, they get hit by that cold Atlantic, they panic and they get out and they pull out the race. So if you are feeling nervous, what is a good little trick is get in the water, dunk yourself under a wave and get back out on the beach. You waste 1 or 2 minutes, but the second time you get in the water, you feel a lot better and you're good to take on the swim. You then got this really great run from the Sandy Bay rock exit along the single track path through the bottom of the houses in Llandudno, and you get to the rock jump into Llandudno. This is your only option on the course where you've got 2 choices. You can either take on the swim, which is the normal standardized route, or if you're feeling unsure about the swim, you're feeling unsure about the waves, or the rock jump, which is quite slippery at the entry point, we will have marked an optional run around course, which is it's a beautiful little trail that runs along the rocks and onto Llandudno Beach. When you get to Llandudno Beach, there is a penalty box. You have to wait for 15 minutes, which evens out your time from the people that have swum, and it penalizes you a bit. You'll probably be about 5 minutes slower running around and sitting in the penalty box. For those of you taking on the swim, again, you can't sight the swim end from when you jump off the rocks. It's around this large rock over here, so you can't actually see the beach where you're swimming into. So take care when you jump off the rocks. There are life-saving boats. There'll be lifesavers, photographers in the water waiting to catch you if you slip. And you swim out into Llandudno behind backline, and once you are past this rock, you then have a line of sight to the flag, to the feather banners that you swim into on the beach. Once again, it's advisable, take off your goggles, have a good look where you're going. Don't just swim blindly towards the beach. You end up going too far to the left. The bigger waves of Llandudno are usually on, if you're swimming in, on the left-hand side here. And on the right-hand side, there's often a rip coming out. So listen to the lifeguards, follow the lifeguards. They'll lead you in on the best line onto Llandudno Beach. An important point at swim number 2 at this Llandudno swim, Llandudno Lifesaving will drop a buoy that you have to jump off the rocks and swim around the buoy. From that buoy, it leads you on the safest line straight to the finish flag. So there will be a buoy over here that you swim around and go into the beach. It's then a really tough climb up out of Llandudno, single track climb, which takes you to the water point at the lookout point over Llandudno. Stop, get a gel, get a bar, and get some power bar to keep you going through the route. It's then a long downhill run towards Oudekraal. The road is open. There are cyclists, there are runners, and there are cars. It is compulsory for all athletes to stick within the yellow line, stay to the left, and as far as possible, run single file. Get down to Oudekraal. follow the route marking into Odacrawl, and this is your second timing tap point that you're going to do. The first was at the start, this is the second Moby timing tap point. This will register you into the longest Odacrawl swim. So this swim is just over 1 kilometer, and it goes from Odacrawl in front of the 12 Apostles Hotel to Cozy Bay. There is a shortcut that you can take towards the end of the swim. The rules are that if the tide is high enough that you don't have to get out of the water, you're allowed to take the shortcut. We will try and send final information on Saturday morning on if the shortcut is in play or if it is out of play. It looks like it is going to be low tide, and there's a good probability that you are not going to be able to take the shortcut. You'll have to actually climb on the rocks and get completely out the water. If that's the case, you cannot take the shortcut and you have to swim around these rocks. It adds on another sort of 100 or 200 meters onto the swim. You then get out at Cozy Bay. Just a quick point, whether you take the shortcut through there or whether you swim around, this last section into the small little Cozy Bay beach in the corner is, in wilderness, we have something that we call swambling, which is a combination of swimming and scrambling. This is, I suppose, a good example as to what that is like in wilderness. It is a slippery, rocky, tough. You're going to be on all fours, pulling yourselves over the rocks. There is no clear line onto the beach here. You have to pick your own line through these rocks, and it is slippery, it is tricky, and it is a huge amount of fun getting out onto the beach at Cozy Bay. At Cozy Bay, squirt lube will be there. People often find that they chafe on their necks, and it happens from the actual swimming, not the running. So it's when you're breathing to the left, and to the right, you end up chafing on that side of your neck. So take the squirt lube that they give you and rub it in your neck, and that will help you to stop chafing for the route. There's also a great spectator point here and a Red Bull energy point, so you can grab a drink there. This is a very hard run from that Cozy Bay. It's along the coastline to Buckhaven, and on the way you pass Bootlegger, and this is our third energy point. They have water, they have banana bread, they have coffee, and a couple of other things for you over there. So please, again, stop at Bootlegger and enjoy the hospitality and get some drinks and snacks before you continue on the route. You're running along Victoria Road, you go past the turnoff that you're going to take. You go past a marshal, you go to the Bootlegger and you double back on yourself, and then you run down the steps and in front, it takes you in front of the NSRI base and to Beta Beach. So just a note on that, you cannot just turn off to the left. You have to run to Bootlegger and then back to this marshal. You can't take the shortcut straight down the steps. This is now swim number 4, which is across Buckhaven Bay, and it's from Beta Beach to the little beach at the end of the bay in Buckhaven. Again, there are feathers that mark the start and the finish of the swim. You swim from feather to feather. It's a low tide. There could be a lot of kelp here. You just have to pull yourself through. It's a lot of fun for people that aren't scared of kelp. For people that are scared of kelp, I'm not sure what to really say other than it is fairly safe in the kelp. You're safe from the waves and safe from the swell. So you have to try to get over your fear. And you then are onto a short little run onto Camps Bay Beach. And it's along Victoria Road and then on the path that takes you onto Camps Bay Beach. The route marking we have here is sometimes hard to follow here because it's a weekend in Cape Town and there are just thousands of people and bright colors everywhere, so it's sometimes hard to follow our route marking. So you just have to run onto the start of Camps Bay Beach, and again there will be a feather flag to mark the start and a feather flag to mark the end of the swim. And in Camps Bay there is again a Moby timing pod. You have to tap yourself into the swim around the buoy that Camps Bay Clifton Lifesaving is going to drop, around the buoy, around the second buoy, and back to the beach. I think this is a GPS track of me doing a tour, and at the tour we swim really slowly, so my track is all over the place. I wasn't swimming this skew, I hope not. And then back to Camps Bay Beach. So this is a short clockwise swim at Camps Bay. And I don't think the waves should be too much of a problem. In the corner here, this is normally where the swimming beach is. There is normally a sort of less harsh break to get through the waves here. You then run across what could be a very full Camps Bay beach, over the rocks onto Glen Beach. This is a fun little section that you scramble and clamber through a little cave, up onto the Maiden's Cove grass bank, through into Maiden's Cove, and you're now approaching your last swim at Clifton. We are going to place outsurance flags, sort of line of sight from flag to flag, leading you over these rocks. You run quite far, and you actually all the way almost in Clifton. This last swim into Clifton and the Clifton 4 finish line is very short, and you get in from the rocks right on the corner here. And then that is a swim into the finish line at Clifton, where you have your last Moby tap out at Clifton 4. So just a confirmation of those Moby timing chips. Let me go back to the map where you can see all of them. So there's a Moby timing chip at the start to register you into the course, and there's one at the finish to take your overall time. So those are very important. Start and the finish. Then we also have an additional Moby check-in at the start of the Odercross swim and the finish of the Odercross swim. That's the longest swim. And we have another Moby timing pod at the Camps Bay swim. So there are 4 points along the route that you have to tap yourself into: the start, the finish, Odercross swim, and Camps Bay swim. Well, that covers it, and we hope you found that informative. And we will see you bright and early on Sunday morning. Have an absolute blast, race safe, and the main thing is to have great fun out there. Cheers.